Hey, welcome everyone. Hope you're doing well and you've had a nice weekend to relax. I'm just going to delete these recent rectangles. Okay, so it looks like we're gapping up at the minute. The market didn't actually open in gap, but we're opening with a bid. So we put out quite a bit of content at the weekend regarding volume profile and some more executions for the DOM. It's quite interesting here. We're seeing 144 absorbed in the offer. NQ's already did the same. So we'll see if we're going to push this back in here. They'll need to try and break this level. So 155 absorbed. So this is a relatively chilled session. There's not too much that goes on when the market's like this. So we'll see. Trading this is crazy. The only first ever opportunities is when the market sets a little range. We're just going to reset this here. Okay, well, quick rundown of market profile. We need to consume all of these into the previous days. Let me just get rid of the rectangles that are drawn for some examples. Okay, so start of new week. Let's merge the prior profiles together for last week. Okay, so quite a janky week last week. If you can see, we've got tons of low volume areas. To be honest, we've got quite a bit of volume up here that the market needs to break. Up here, and then there's a poor high been left up here as well. So we're currently in this sort of lower volume node from last week, but ultimately this area down here, there's not a ton of volume been traded. Then got a higher volume node here, and then a lower volume node here, and then the POC of last week was down here. So that gives us a rough idea. Breaking the high, so if we will draw a rectangle here, but if we break the high, then we're going to be bullish on the week, which effectively means we're going to be all-time highs and soaring. So my initial setup, ultimately what I would be looking to see here is until we're currently just filling out this area, so there's not really, for me anyway, there's no real edge here. Hey, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Did you have a good weekend? Did you have a good weekend, Vic? Um, so right now we're just trading at this lower volume node right now. And right now there's not really any edge, to be honest. We're seeing shit tons of absorption here right now. But general consensus for me is until we get any sort of buying, we need to break this level up here to confirm the trend. On the downside, we need to break this higher volume node of Friday, which is where a lot of the business was conducted. But considering we have got all of this area down here that's of lower volume, I would like to see us go and fill some of this out because we've got single prints here, and a nice little single print right here. So a bit of a janky week last week, obviously a trend week, leaving leaving all these areas untested, and the market typically likes to fill out these single prints because they've not been filled, right? So, but right now, unless we get extremely out of whack at the moment, there's not really any real edge as such. So we're plus 500 delta so far on the day, which is seen by all this buying. We're seeing all of the equity markets tick up. I'm just going to have a quick look to see how treasuries have opened, if there's been anything wild. I mean, treasuries is also bidding up. But nothing really, to be honest. I mean, I need to adjust this chart here. It's the overnight high, high and low for time period. Set as default, remove, and it was high or low. Time period. Sierra sometimes does that, it's a bit annoying when it extends it across. There we go. Okay, so bonds are also and treasuries are slightly ticking up at the minute. Nothing major. They tend to be inverse mostly to equities. So we'll jump back. So what did you get up to the weekend? Did you do anything exciting? You watching the golf or anything of that nature? Did anyone watch the boxing? The Usyk and Fury fight was good entertainment, to be honest. I watched some of that. Okay, let's have a look and see for the MBO data where we're seeing. So we've got 50 lots here, 50 lots here, 50 lots here. So ultimately this is where the range is going to be set. Then we've got a nice juicy 250 lot up here. Anything else shown? Let's go down and see if they're showing it on the bid. They are not. Okay, so not really any selling coming into the market right now. We're just seeing, we've got plus 500 delta so far since they've opened. The POC has instantly moved higher. Same on NQ. So the market's not out of whack to even consider. I would only ever really start considering a short until we put in a range and potentially fill in these levels. But I don't typically trade this. You can see there's absolutely no volume. I mean, we discussed this in the previous streams, but just look at the lack of volume. There we go. 400 shown on the bid. This is exactly the games that I was discussing in the last video. This is there, right, to engineer liquidity because people will be seeing this 400 lot and it's trying to get other people to then buy, okay, because they see this 400 lot here. There's no danger that I think if this gets down here this will more likely be pulled. I would be surprised if this gets really traded, to be honest. So this is a perfect segue into what we were seeing. 400 lots shown on the bid on pre-market. This tell you honestly. So people that will be seeing this big 400 lot will be trying to buy in right now. So in essence, they're trying to engineer liquidity, and you'll probably find that they'll start working the offer up here. Look at that, instantly pulled. Instantly pulled. That's why MBO data is really important, guys, because you can see that action there. That was complete. If anyone is going to define spoofing, that is 100% spoofing. That what you've just seen right there. 400 lot flash for probably a minute. We clocked it, and what they're trying to do is, in essence, engineer more buy orders to try and break this here. Because right now we're just about to go back to where this order was. Let's see if anything actually really trades. I don't know if you guys clocked that there, but that was an interesting one for spoofing, to be honest. Because I mean, here's the thing, right? What other reason would someone place 400 contracts there and then pull it a minute later? I mean, what other what other? I mean, the floor's yours. What other reason do you think that someone would flash 400 contracts there for a minute, the market ticks down, and then they pull? You know, they're essentially just trying to engineer more buying to crack this high so that there's some liquidity, up here. Now NQ's already popped, NQ already broke the highs. We are seeing the Russell at this. The Russell's got a 29 lot here that's going to need to crack, and that's pretty high for the Russell at the moment, considering how thin it is. There's a 35 lot here, 29 lot here. So let's see if NQ's got any. It's a 35 down here. Does NQ get any up here? Not really, just one for quite far away. So that full amount's just been taken on the Russell. That 31 is executed at that price. Let me know what you guys think of that 400 logs. I think it's a fantastic um, discussion point for the recent video that we just published on the channel. It's very, very fitting if you take that into context, right? This is quite interesting. There's not been one contract traded at this price in the Russell. So, and on here on NQ, so we essentially just bid straight back up. So we basically went bid 43 here. That might as well be 0 in ES. So this all equities have done that. So these are going to have to be filled. You don't see that very often. See nothing traded at this price, nothing traded here, literally nothing here, and then the same for the same right here. I thought I'd jump on for an hour, see if there's any action. But it looks at the moment that we're just creeping higher. It's going to take us a while, but I think we'll probably get up to this 39, 40 area where this larger sizes, and then we'll probably have a pullback. It's going to take a while though, to be honest. It's not as if it's just going to go straight up. It's just a constant slow grind. For the last week or so, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but last week or so, the overnight session has just been a continual grind higher, and then we've had a pullback in the regular trading hours. It's been consistent for the last week or so. Just have a quick look at treasuries, see what's happening. Literally nothing. It's not worth the tick. Unbelievable. Well, it's not unbelievable. These treasuries at the end of the day. We need to merge our profiles for the 10-year. So let me know what you guys are watching. I hope you're not taking any real positions at the moment, but what are you watching? What's your outlook for the week? Do you have any bias? Let me know what you guys are trading. You know, is it mainly ES and NQ you're trading? Do you guys prefer that I have the equity markets up for context and discussions when they're slow? Do you want me to bring up any gold or oil or anything? There has been over 300, yeah, they've got the 300 contracts absorbed here on the offer. Certainly more than that. Do you notice how they're doing this at the same time? You know, they're all sort of absorbing. I'd be surprised here if they don't crack. This is this continual motion of just grinding higher. We may switch to the 1 minute just because it's really slow. See, this is what I mean by this, you know, continual sort of grind higher, you know. This is high Kanashi, so it removes all the noise. It's just a... So, let's see, from the open, we'll drag this down a little bit, but 24 ticks. We'd normally say from observation you're normally getting like a 25-30 tick straight line grind, and then you'll get a tiny pullback. If you guys could like the stream if you've not already, that would be appreciated. Click the like button for me. And if you've got any questions around any of the videos, if you want to discuss them, because it's not as if we're going to miss any huge amount of action, to be honest. So if you've got any questions regarding any of the content or anything around Sierra, now would be a good time. Oh, we're seeing a tick up there. Let's see, can we crack? We're going to need NQ, the wild brother, to smash the highs here. If it can crack a couple of ticks here, we'll see it ES probably tick up. NQ is trying. You see what I mean by there's just no volume here? If this is regular trading hours, you know, that they're probably bashed up about 10-15 ticks on NQ. And the spread is so wide, that's the best offer. Best bid and best offer. It's like a couple of tick spread there. Madness. And if you guys notice as well, you know, the when the volume is so low, it's just can go up a few ticks, and there's still tons of NQ still willing to absorb here. It seems to be ticking up a few, and it's absorbing like 15-20 contracts. What we'll do is we'll run through ES market profile. I'll hide these levels for you, just so we can simply look at it. So the vertical lines that you're seeing down is the end of a week, right? So we're just starting a new week, and you can see that we're just continually going up at the moment. We had, the pullback down here, then we consolidated for a few weeks, but then since we've broke this level, I think ever since we had the big bid and then retracement for the FOMC meeting, we've just pretty much been bid ever since. And then the CPI print that's come out. You trade on the S for now. Do you think Treasuries is more simple to trade? Well, here's the thing, man. I don't know if you're trading your own personal accounts or you're trading prop. Um, but if you're trading Treasuries, you're certainly not gonna you're not gonna have this boom and bust phase um, that you're gonna have because it just doesn't move enough. So, and let me explain to you why. Oops. Um, so these are extremely thick markets. We'll just have a quick rundown of these, just so I think we've discussed them before, but we'll run over it again, right? Um, ZN or the 10-year. Look how thick the market is. Um, you know, you've got 1,257 on the bid, 407 on the offer right now, and look how thick the market is. The Then you have the 5 and the 2 and 5 year and the 30-year bond. Okay. Now, one of the things that's also really appealing to these markets, it's probably the most appealing thing to be honest, is the tick to commission ratio is amazing. Okay. If you take the if you take the 10 year, okay, the 10 year off the top of my head, it's 15.75 or something per tick, and the commission is about $3. So every single tick for one contract is 12.75. It's even more on the 30 year. The 30 year I think is it's 31.25, and we'll just call it 350 on that. Yeah, I think it's about 27, 28, and that's for one tick. So you can take tons of scratches in just one tick, for example, to trade these markets. And because the volatility is so low, um, because the volatility is really low, you don't have this sort of shot of going bust and stuff. Because that's what happens to all sort of new traders is they jump in, to the likes of NQ and gold and oil where they're super thin, um, and they just end up really struggling with it, to be honest with you, because if you're wrong and you average into position, you're screwed. This market, you've got so much time, and when you're new, you need longer to process the information. You trade prop, okay. So it depends how new you are, man. I would say this is completely up to yourself. I would say it's always good for someone to try this out. You know, um, the reason I'm saying that is a you're going to remove the boom and bust cycle. I don't know what your tendencies are. You know them better than me, obviously. But if you trade the 10 year, it's probably going to move something like, I don't know, tops 27 ticks in a day. So if you're trading one and two contracts at 15, you know you need to hit the top tick and bottom tick with one contract in order to have a really bad day. You know what I mean? So, and the good thing about these markets is if you do get proficient at these markets and you do then transition across to live accounts, these are extremely scalable. You know, extremely scalable once you get super proficient at them. You could trade 100 contracts in this and not even be noticed. Do you know what I mean? So, and they're not as aggressive. It's not like they have these super aggressive sweeps and the market when you're trading it, it'll just dump 3 4 ticks. It doesn't do that. Every single price is super solid, and the reason why I've got the four of these up is because they tend to move in tandem like the equity markets. So, if they're all dropping, they all tend to drop. So you've got some correlations there again. Um, I would try it for a week or so to see what you think of it. Now, I would advise it is fucking slow. To be really blunt about it, man, it's extremely slow. So the bond market opens at 1:30. That's why you typically see some volume kind of at 1:30. It's the open to the bond market. Um, and the close is, I think it's 9, if I remember off the top of my head. So I'm in UK time, so in GMT. So it's 8:30 in the morning US time, and then I think it closes at 4, if I remember correctly. So slightly different hours, but just a different markets, right? Different markets. So try that. You should potentially. I don't know. You need to discuss your stats, and you need to see your strengths and weaknesses. There may be no point of you moving to this. You may be doing really well in ES, but it just depends. If your weaknesses are you tend to average into positions, or you tend to cut losses, or you just tend to have no problem putting in green days, but then you tend to have these one bad red days that just make you lose everything. I think learning discipline in treasuries is probably a good way to do it. I trade treasuries. I don't trade them that often, um, but I'll typically trade them. It's a completely different market, to be honest with you. Completely different market. And my stops on treasuries are like no more than 4 ticks, to be honest. On ZN anyway. So it'll be Skeletor if we watch this. But you can really easily see it. There's been 1310 absorbed here. Yeah, there's tons of stacking on the bids here. So there we can see the full amount was just taken out and the market's ticked up. It's kind of like the market in slow motion when you're watching treasuries. So that's why it's good to learn. So you see the market's ticked up, it's then instantly ticked back down, but then sellers have then hit in for 519 contracts. Okay, and so they've sold 519 into that price, and then they added some more onto the offer. The buyers have then just taken that amount. Okay, so buyers have then taken that amount and attempted to tip back to tick back up. So, and every other one's at the highs here, right? So if these do break here, so if we see the 2 and 5 year potentially pop up 1 tick, then we'll maybe see the 10 year popping up as well. So we've not. So we've instantly then see another 400 come in, and some executed here, and we're then trying to trade out. So right now, essentially, the offer is been flashing around in these prices, right? And what you need to watch in treasuries, as an example, you watch this in ES as well, but say sellers do come in right now, watch the amount of contracts that are pulled here. Right now there's 1759, there's currently been 213 pulled. This gives you an idea of, are these 1700 contracts here actually real? So we'll see if any sellers come in, and then when they do hit into this price and the market will tick down, which means some sellings come in, we'll see if these are pulled. That, to me, when that does happen, the fact that we've seen all this absorption is a sign that we could be potentially looking to get a couple of ticks. You know. Also, it's at the kind of Friday mini high as well. So we'll see what happens when the market ticks here. Okay, so the market's someone sold one contract. Two contracts here. So 240's pulled, so nothing has really been pulled off this price. So three contracts is some poor sod just marketed in three contracts, um, which is yeah, three contracts hit into the bid, and then the market's ticked up. So if maybe sellers was coming here with like 300-400 contracts, then you'd maybe see this happening. Because if buyers wanted to take price up right now, if you see the 2 and 5 year ticking up to this, you'll probably see them actually trade something at this level. But then we're seeing the 30 years just try to tick down, and then some more has been pulled off here. But the offer is looking a little bit weak on the others, to be honest, and we've noticed the other ones tick down. So there we go, there's 400 pulled, you know. So there's 400 been pulled on that price. If we see some size come in, these 1,000 contracts potentially could just vanish. And then the same below. You notice when the price then goes there, that will no longer be 728 stacked. That may actually 1,000 may crack off, you know. And this is the thing, when you're seeing it, it's extremely slow motion. Now you can this is not unique to treasuries, by the way. This is just order flow in general. It's just extremely faster on ES and then almost unrecognizable on NQ. To be honest, I think if you're to trade NQ, you would probably need to combine ticks. To be honest with you, in my opinion. Okay, so seeing 400 pulled. I want to see some size come in here to see if we can get like 1,000 taken off, because we are seeing a little bit of a pull in the on the 30 year. So that's a good question. So the treasuries is a different market, and what I mean by that is I typically trade sweeps on ES, um, whereas you do get them on treasuries, but it's so what I mean by that. Sorry, let me elaborate a little bit more. So say this was ES, right? Um, the market would typically quickly kick into this level here. In order to do that, they'd maybe pull the offers, and then when they get to this price, they would ultimately start absorbing, and then they would just start feathering into the bids and basically drop price down. Treasuries doesn't do that. You don't just see 3,000 come in, 3,000 come in, 3,000 come in, and then you're up here. It just doesn't do that. It's very fluid between the bid and ask. So they'll, like, how to explain it? So they'll, like, right now, so they're lifting the offer here, the right of the highs. This here is just never going to go an uptick 3 ticks. It just doesn't do it unless the world goes on fire. Of course, I'm not saying it doesn't, but do you know what I mean? The It just doesn't have that aggressive smashing through levels, right? So what that means is you've got more time, so you can then really focus into this order flow. So what I've been watching is since we've been talking about this, the market's ticked up to this level. Two's traded. Some poor person's actually bought two, so they're down. um, and then this dude is sold three contracts into this price. Sellers are aggressively absorbing here. They keep on refreshing, you know, right now. And what I would be looking for, not that I'm going to be trading this at all, but what I would be looking for right now is for sellers to start stepping in, okay? And for sellers to start coming in, I would like to see these orders being pulled, because right now we can see 477 is added to this price, actually slightly more. 2,269 contracts have been executed on the offer, and they cannot crack. Okay, we've seen more added now, and then the 330 pulled. the key inflection point for me here would be if they can hit with some size in here, not three contracts, like 300-400 trade here, and then I'd want to see what happens to this 1600. Would typically be it. So what I would then look to be doing is, say we break the low on treasuries, I would wait for like a break and retest on treasuries, wait for it to be confirmed by the order flow, and then just sell it. To be honest, if we broke the low and retest, you know, or if we're going back to like yesterday's point of control or something. So in treasuries, if we pulled back, say, I'll just draw it, but say somewhere in here, right? We've got this higher volume node, we've got the Friday's POC. I'd be looking to try and take a shot in here if we see absorption in the offer, and then try and look to target like three ticks or something. Pretty much. Different style of market. Of course, you do get sweeps if you do appear, then I'll take it, but not exactly the same, to be honest. But good question. We'll jump back here. Oh, we missed the sell-off. No, no. So this is a good point as well. Let's see how many ticks. I note that it's normally round about the 25 tick mark. It tends to snap back. I need to go to the. I forgot what I'm doing. I'm gonna scrunch it down. It's normally like a 25 tick mark that it tends to come down. Wow, literally. These algos, they don't fucking mess about, do they? Jeez, right to the tick. And this is why it's hard to watch two markets at the same time with order flow. You need to basically, pick one. Almost. Missed that. I wanted to see the order flow that happened. But yeah, prior to that, before we left, do you remember we seen all that absorption up there? We had seen probably 300-400 contracts absorbed in the offer. Clearly that was enough for them, and now they're just going to go back and probably retest the sort of area. Have you guys got any questions? Yeah, Vic, that was quite a good question about treasuries. I would say the methods are the same to a degree. Um, Concepts are the same, but just nothing is aggressive on treasuries, which is the whole point of why trading that when you're starting order flow, because you're getting more time to execute, and by I mean more time, I'm talking 10 times more, to be honest with you, maybe even more than that, and you don't lose as much when you lose. So you're not going to have these big up days and big down days, to be honest with you, especially if you're not averaging into position, which I don't advocate you do, to be honest. But you'll see lots of people trying to trade this, to be honest. I just don't understand why they use their mental capital right now. You know, there's just nothing happening. Like, this is the time where the competition that we discussed in the latest video, this is the time that they win. You know, it literally does not cost them any money. They're trading billions and billions a day, and it costs them literally, the amount that it would cost us to buy our toothpaste for them to start smashing price up and down here. So you need to bear that in mind when you're trading these markets. I think you would end up fighting tooth and nail to try and win a couple of ticks, to be honest. So I think it was a very I think it was an important video to cover, right? Because everyone talks about they and who the heck are they? You know, that's who they are. And they're not just working futures, right? You guys know that much that they'll be trading the individual stocks outright that make up the NQ and make up ES. They'll be hedging their exposure in options and in the underlying markets as well. So you never know what they've got. They maybe need to sell aggressively. I don't know, Microsoft at the minute. They need to bash Microsoft down a little bit to get out of their positions. But then in the meantime, some money flowing into Microsoft will normally tick ES down a couple of ticks, for example, which then means they can make money on that, you know, because when they're doing that cascade, other algorithms who see that tick down in Microsoft also jump in selling, and then you have some stops triggered, for example. It's just all a massive fugazi, to be honest with you, and it has to be, right? Because all that's happening is machines versus machines, and but machines are put in the market by humans, right? And it's all about human emotion at the end of the day. The market will always go further through a level than you think, as well. Especially when the VIX is higher. Sweeps are always more aggressive. That's why I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm not used to low VIX, but I mean it's so low at the minute, and I'm not used to this ticking, like sweeping a high with one tick and stuff. And I like to see some stops triggered, absorb, and then snap back pretty quickly. This one tick is meh. Might even get 20, 29. Are you thinking down here? Yeah, we're basically then back to open price, right? As I was saying, it doesn't really cost them. It doesn't really cost very much money to smash price around here, right? They can, firms can do that if they can do that with their lunch money. It's like us going to have a snack at lunch, and it's just like what it costs them to smash the market around here, right? It's just fun and games volume. There's just no volume traded. It's just interesting to watch and action points to discuss, right? Yeah. Yeah, but we're also filling out this sort of weird, janky node at the minute. I would like us to go and see and fill out this area down here, though, considering it wasn't really traded out last week. We had that huge bid day where we didn't really leave much value. So if the market does crack here and we do come down, we should normally fill out these areas. With my trusty crystal ball, what I would like to see would be, the market, it does some sort of weird sweeping action up here or something, or we just sell off aggressively. We need to crack through this higher node here, but we crack through that. The market then takes tons of liquidity down. and we go down here, and then we fill in this level, something along those lines. But realistically, we've got absolutely no idea what's going to happen. It's not like I've got a crystal ball or anything. Yeah, exactly. I've actually got the VIX chart here. Let me bring that up. Let me go down. This is horrendous, right? Why is this not good? Ugh, I need to load more data here. Yeah. Let me go down to the 15-minute just so it looks a bit smaller. Yeah, I mean, I need to probably load some more data here, right? But if you got it at the 13s as well. When was the last time, without me having to download shit tons of data, when was the last time the VIX was at this level? I mean, this pretty much to me just means that ES goes 4 ticks back to, goes 6 back to, you're not really getting that nice juicy flush all the time, are you? We need some carnage in the world, or we need, you know, I suppose it would be a different story if that CPI number was bad, right? It would be the other way at the moment. Do you ever trade this, Jagger, at all? Or do you ever trade treasuries during the night or anything like that? I mean, to be honest, I've not got the patience for this really. Trevor, how did you go on trading pre-market? You mean, or trading treasuries? Pre-market, I'm assuming. Oh, really? See, yeah, I've never really executed on the Bund. I know Tom Dante really raves about that, doesn't he? And a lot of I think the Axia dudes trade that as well, don't they? They're big fans of the Bund. I suppose it makes sense if you're in Europe, isn't it? Europe and the UK, because it's more of a morning market for us, isn't it? Right. What's the equivalent of? Is it kind of like the 30 year, like in terms of treasuries? Is it kind of got uh the depth of the 30 year bond? Yeah. I've never even looked at the gilt market for the UK either as well. I know they trade that. I've honestly never even looked at a gilt chart, to be honest, considering I'm even from the UK as well. Never looked at it. Similar to ZB, right? That's what I was thinking, to be honest. ZB is a little, it's a little, it's good. I mean, ZN, Jesus man, it's 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 ridiculous, isn't it? It's crazy. Oh, see, I missed that as well. The talking point was when the market hit into here, where was all the market, the orders pulled. So we need to see some size trade here, and you want to see some orders pulled. But it moves faster. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, 3-4 ticks on the 10 year is a W. What's the um, what is the tick ratio for FGBL for the Bund? Yep, can't. Yeah, yeah. That's the thing, mate. With treasuries, if you're coming from the indices, then it's just a different market. It doesn't have that aggressive sweeping of prices and then snapping back and stuff. You need to almost, you know, just for example, ZN at the moment. Um, if you get a break and retest of a level or retest against this POC or something like that. That's the way I've always viewed it. Is you're not going to have the market just doesn't sweep up like 3-4 ticks, then you get to instantly hit into the bid and ride it back down and you're done. It doesn't do that. 10 euro per tick, but there are smaller sizes. Alright, 10 euros per tick, and then if it moves the same as what's the average tick amount per day for that? Is it like 20? Is it the same as the treasuries? You're talking like 25, 30 tick movement a day. Is that the? Is that typically what it moves? Next thing you know, you'll be into the Euro stocks and the DAX. I don't know if you've watched the DAX. But I think I've actually got the. Have I got Eurex enabled here? I think I've got the full. No, I don't think I do. Let me see. Let me see. File. Open. No. We'll open new chart book. In fact, we won't. Let me just duplicate this. Duplicate the chart book. New chart book. And then we'll attach. Okay, let me have a look. Curious. Show title bar. Right. What was I going to do there? I was change the symbol, wasn't it? And then it was Eurex. Here. See if I've got the depth for this. Wow. Real time market data only supported. No, I don't. It doesn't look like I've got it. That's a shame. Real time market data only supports threads. Chart data feed for symbol. Click symbol. That's a shame. I need to check how much that would be. Let me see if I get the DAX or Euro stocks, however. Why did that not change? Because I didn't. Right. I don't think I've got Urex enabled. I'm not too sure why I'm even trying this. No. I don't have Urex enabled. Yeah, it was worth a shot. I thought I did actually. I thought I paid for the full suite, to be honest. I need to double check. I actually think I have paid for the full suite, and I've just not signed the agreement for Urex. I think it expired or something. Thanks for subscribing, Nuno. Hopefully I've said your name correct. Oh, I can move 100 ticks per day. Jesus. Okay. Okay, nothing like treasuries then. Also, the other thing as well, if you're trading any prop firms, you can't really trade it, can you? I know you can't through Rhythmic anyway. You can do it with any of the personal accounts through like Stage 5 or Iron Beam or whatever. Nice, cool name. Really cool name. Nuno Fonseca. Hopefully I've pronounced that correct. But yeah, it's a cool name. Oh, look at this. We're going bid again. Let's see what let's draw our mythical and magical triangles. To see what happens when we get to this level if we do have the sweep. Why did that not? There we go. Now we'll see what happens the first time the market gets there. I'm probably not going to be here when the time that happens because your English is great. You probably speak better English than a lot of the English people, so from the UK anyway. Yeah. So Jagger, you tempted to try that? How are you going to execute? You need to go with. I'm just trying to think what form you can do that with. I don't think you can do it via Rhythmic, if I'm honest. You need to trade it through a personal account, or you would need to do. You need to go with Tradeovate or something, and use that for execution and stuff, which is not ideal unless you've got a trick. No, it makes perfect sense. We'll try and we hold this live stream every day, normally in the PM session of US. So if you're in Portugal, you're an hour ahead or so. So I'm normally live about 6-7 o'clock your time in the evening, typically. And I've got some content and stuff. So if you're wanting to learn order flow, you can go and check out all the content. I posted some new videos. You need to make sure you've got all the charts set up correctly. But if you need any assistance with the chart books or you want to try out this platform, there's a link in the description to try out the platform for free. Oh, you've got that right. Well, so you've got it through Tradeovate, and that's just to order route. How can you connect your data to are you gonna continue to use Jigsaw? How are you gonna get the data for that? Are you just gonna use Tradeovate's data as well? Because you need to have L2 as well. Are you talking about the $24 is for L2? You just said you can connect it to Jigsaw in the message above. Okay, I didn't realise you could do that. That's well done on Jigsaw for allowing that integration. Okay, great. Great. Yeah, join the Discord and you can hang out. You know, there's probably the guts of 40 odd people in there now. So we've got a good community starting to develop where everyone can hang and we can all help each other out. But make sure the couple of things you need to make sure is you've got the data, you know, you've got a decent charting package. I'm not sure what charting package you're using. Sierra is not the most user friendly, but you can do loads of things with it. Yeah, that's a fantastic job they've done. You know, with doing integrations and connectivity is literally it, right? It's a good job. It's actually kind of weird that I'm using Sierra for the DOM and I have it built like a jigsaw DOM. uh, I just prefer to be priced that way because it's diagonally. To be honest, I find it a bit weird when you've got the price in the middle and it just doesn't look right to me. I like to have the market orders in the middle rather than you see some people of them to the left and the right and stuff. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'll concentrate on my journey first, initial steps. Yeah, exactly. Get yourself comfortable. Whatever you do, trade sim before you jump into the market and stuff. Make sure you've got all the knowledge consumed and you put yourself in a good spot. The market's not going anywhere. Sweet, no problem, man. You have a good sleep, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Let's hopefully have a good session. Yeah, I'll take some last questions, guys, if anyone's got them. Um, if not, doesn't look like there's anything major happening here. I wanted to see the absorption, but actually, where the market's been right now, if you guys are, it's probably a decent time for some people watching. Um, but let's see what happens when the market gets to the low and the high that the market's put in. You could almost draw one there, but this is essentially just the range going to be roughly set for the next little while and see when the market does come here. If we see a little sweep, and then that could be your 3, 4, 5 ticks or something. No, I typically don't really use Twitter. I actually need to get Twitter, to be honest with you. I've got it for one personal account, but not for I need to create some socials for this and mainly just operate everything through Discord. But what I'll do is I'll create a Twitter this week and I'll link it into the about section of our YouTube channel so you can follow everything on there. But the simplest way at the right time right now is just to connect to Discord. I don't know if you use Discord or not. Okay, guys, I'm going to be hanging in Discord for a while. There's not really any action here. I thought I would jump on to see if we could see some fireworks for open because of some events happened over the weekend, but nothing's truly happening. So we'll catch everyone. If anyone's got any questions, leave a comment below and make sure you've subscribed. That would be fantastic. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be live tomorrow, and we can catch up in the Discord to discuss any analysis of what we see in the market prior. You're saying I'm just watching that at the moment. Any other materials, advice would be very cool. Okay, so I've got a play. I created a playlist on what is the DOM. So if you go into the playlist section, I've got 4 videos in there that explains what you're seeing in the depth of market. It tells you how to read the DOM. It tells you, the mindset that you need to have, and who the participants are against. And if you go through those videos, it's probably a couple of hours of content in there, and that'll give you an idea of what you're looking at, how to explain everything, and then we can assist you once you've got the concepts grasped. We can assist you with getting all of the chart books and everything all configured, so you're seeing the same. Yeah, no problem, man. It's good to hang out with everyone as always. But I'm trying to slowly build a playlist for you guys so that people, when they're new, they can come in and they can sort of work their way through like the order flow sort of walkthrough, and it takes them step by step so that they've got the right tools, and then they can go into the Sierra chart tutorials, so that everyone is got the right mindset, tools, and understanding of the depth of market. So which is good. No, you're more than welcome. More than welcome. So I'm gonna boost, guys. I'm gonna leave. If you've got any questions, leave some comments below. And if you're watching any of those videos, I'm pretty active. So if you've got anything while you're watching that you're confused on, just leave a comment. I'll get back to you pretty quickly. But until then, you guys have a great evening, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Cheers, guys.